I closed the door. I grabbed my phone. I called my mom. I called all the people that I felt close to, that I knew I would miss if I ended my life. And then I sat on the toilet seat, cocked back this gun, put it up underneath my chin, bro, and I had my elbows on my knees, like almost in a praying position with a gun underneath my chin. And bro, my right elbow slipped off of my knee. Gun went off. Boom.
Hello, everyone. This is Alonzo Williams, and you are now tuned into the Everyday Strangers podcast. Let's get it. All right, y'all. So I'm going to keep it real. This had to be one of the most profound interviews that I've done in a very long time. You were just listening to an excerpt of a conversation between me and today's guest. He goes by the name of D, a.k.a. William Leigh. Now, William is a photographer who currently resides in Pennsylvania. In this conversation, we discuss how depression and attempt of suicide actually led D to become a photographer, and how he used photography as a way of therapy. I definitely recommend this episode for everyone, but most importantly, I recommend this episode for those who are creatives, those who are kind of in a drought, those who are indeed struggling with mental health at the moment, trying to find the purpose and meaning behind being depressed, or even if you have suicidal thoughts. I definitely recommend this episode to those who are definitely able to identify with those topics. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. This is the Everyday Strangers podcast featuring D, a.k.a. William Leigh. All right, y'all, enjoy. Peace. Yo, so how you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I had to run some errands. I got these squirrels in my attic.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
He said squirrel.
I got these squirrels in my attic, man. They I don't mind if they there. They just need to pay part of the mortgage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so there ain't nothing for free, man.
Do something.
Yo, man. Well, shoot, man. We on the air, man. So I always like to start off. Normally, I say give an intro yourself, but I think people gonna learn to know who you are throughout the interview, man. So
okay.
The way I like to start it, man, is to ask people first. Like, what is life's for you? What has been life's greatest lesson for you? To you?
Life's greatest lesson for me is I think there's so many. There's so many, man.
You gotta do pick one.
There's so many. Go with your gut and follow your dream. Do what's important to you, not what's important, not what you think is important to other people. I feel like the people that you love can influence a lot of your decisions in life. And I found myself wanting to make those people happy, and I did that at the sacrifice of myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. What were those sacrifices like for you?
Again, so many. To start at the beginning, I think I've always wanted to pursue the arts, like, the music thing. I was heavy into music, and when I started expressing that, to those maternal and paternal figures who are supposed to embrace, they're supposed to embrace you and help you cultivate that passion. It was like, you're crazy. You ain't gonna make no money doing that. need to go to school for the sciences. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to go into healthcare. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I literally spent probably my first couple years of college pursuing healthcare when like I had no interest in it. I was more interested in DJing and making beats and
Really?
yeah, and I woke up one day and I'm like, yo, I'm not interested in any of this stuff that I'm studying.
Yo,
like,
that's great. Yo, I'm gonna tell you more about that, but go ahead. You continue though,
so I just stopped. Like I stopped going to school, and I kind of had to get over. I had to build this confidence to be able to tell my mother, no, I'm not going to school to become a nurse or a pharmacist or what was the other thing she wanted me to do? Physical therapy. Like
right.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And once you say that, you know, you're opening yourself up for the ridicule, for the you're stupid. That's so dumb. That's gonna be the worst decision that you ever make.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to go to school for something that I'm interested in that's gonna help me pursue my passions. Wow. So yeah, that's just one. Then there's women. That's a whole another level of mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, man, before we because I want to touch on this interview that you did with stereotypecode.com.
Oh yeah.
But in my childhood when I was young, you know, since back in the Wood Creek days in Virginia, and I don't think you realized it. Maybe you did. I don't know, but like you were like the poster child for like the kids who were younger than you on the street. Like whenever we saw you like drive past, bro, like we was like, yo, we trying to be like D, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just like the fact that, I mean, we respected the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you was a pharmacist and, you know, you was going to college and everything. But on top of that, we was looking at like, yo, on top of that, like he creating fire beats. He's working with like different music artists on his mixtape grind. It was like, it was like, what can he not do type thing. He's fly, you know what I'm saying? He come through fresh. You know, the Honda Civic was the car that everybody wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so you was like the childhood hero back then. It was like, you know, seeing like, you know, some kind of hood superhero riding through Main Cell each time here come D, yo, you know.
That's good.
It's nothing but respect, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks, bro.
But back then, I known you as like a person who was working in music. You was producing and everything. Yeah. And then, strangely, like you had hit me up one time on Instagram, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who you were at first because you were under a different name. and he was like, "Yo, man, like I'm thinking about doing. I mean, how would you feel if I did like this beat, man, and you know, something to match up with your travels and everything?" And I'm like, yo, I appreciate like this random dude saying, you know, you want to, you know, make some kind of soundtrack for me. I don't know who this is though. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna play along with it. And then I realized, I think I saw like a picture of someone tagged you or you posted a picture yourself. I was like, yo, this was D the whole time. Fam, I had no idea. And I was like, yo, he's a photographer now. So then like I grew even more interested. I was like, yo, D's shooting pictures and he's shooting like a pro, man. Like, and that's when I had like mad questions. I was like, yo, how long has he been shooting? Like, why did he pick up a camera? Like, how did this all happen? Right. So I want to jump into the stereotypecode.com interview. Shout out to stereotypecode.com.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I love the Respect the Shooter interviews that they put out. Definitely. You started off, this was something that really caught my eye, man. You had started off when they asked you, how did you start photography? You were saying that, like, you never thought about picking up a camera up until a breaking point with depression.
Yeah.
Can you break that story down? Because this I was able to really identify with that quote alone. You know what I mean? But what did you mean by that, if you can break that down?
So, I have to say excuse me because I tend to be long-winded because I'm very detail-oriented.
That's
So
perfect.
so I try to paint this picture so that you really can understand.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I was I was in this relationship that led to engagement. It was about a 6 year relationship, and in this relationship, like the last year of that relationship, we had gotten engaged. Um, that relationship was where I completely lost. I lost my identity. I lost my sense of self. Um, let's go into that
Okay.
really. I'll try to make that as short.
For
Uh,
sure.
yeah. So I met this woman. Was in college. Though I think I was just finishing up college, and fell head over heels with this woman. We got along. Um,
That's all good.
I at first it was great. Like it was great, and then it's like it's like an onion, right?
Right.
You start to peel back those layers, and if you're familiar with an onion, the more contact you have with that onion, the more you peel it back. It does what? It starts to make you cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like she cheated on me. She got pregnant by another guy.
Mm.
Yeah, I had to go with her
Mm.
to the abortion. Like I stuck by her side the entire time, and after that, once I thought we got through the worst, um, she wanted to get married. I knew she wanted to get married. So I proposed, and that's when everything got crazy. The
Mm.
mom was super controlling over her the entire duration of the relationship. But once I proposed, like I drove out to Delaware to ask her mom for her daughter's hand in marriage, and her mom was like, "Oh my, no, no, this is not what I had planned for my daughter." And no, no. And
Mm.
long story short, she was just like, "I don't want my daughter being married to this guy from New York that
Mm.
associates with people that make music about doing drugs and like it was so bad. Like she literally purchased one of the albums for one of the artists that I had produced for. I think at the time it was Joel Santana. So she purchased Joel Santana's album, and I think she listened to it and was just like, "Oh my gosh!" So the things that Joel's was talking about on his album, of course, it's a lot of drugs, a lot of sex, a lot
Yeah.
of
Crack.
she she's imparting these things on me. Well, you're making the music with him, so you must be partaking in these acts. No, I don't have anything to do with that. That's like I'm providing a service, and
But wait,
uh,
you said
uh
that she purposely bought the mother bought the album
yeah, she bought the CD.
just to prove a point.
Yeah, so just to make me look bad.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Go ahead.
yeah, bro. So and then man, then we had to go through marriage counseling, right? But
Yeah.
we had to go through marriage counseling. Oh, you're gonna love this. So we had to go through marriage counseling, but the mom had to be the one to select the marriage counselors.
Yeah.
So of course she selected the pastors of her church. It was a husband and wife, and they're her friends, right? So we start this marriage counseling. Now, most people that are about to get married, marriage counseling might be for a month, once a week for a month, maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
She wanted us to start like a year out. It was insane. Like, who does marriage counseling for an entire year? Well, yeah, me, stupid. So,
Yo.
so during marriage counseling, right? The woman that I was engaged to, she says, "Hey, we can't let the marriage counselors know that we had sex. They're under the impression that I'm a virgin and that you're a virgin." So I was like, "What?" She's like,
this is like Catholic or
"Nah, it was Christian, non-denominational."
interesting. Okay.
So I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, you cannot tell them." And I'm like, "You understand you're asking me to lie to a pastor?" Yeah, but they're my mom's friends, and just please don't, please. My mom thinks that I'm a virgin, and I just want to keep that. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
Boom. I don't know how many months into counseling, but sex comes up, right?
Yeah.
So now it's a husband and wife pastor. It's a husband and wife. They're both pastors of a church, right? And they're the ones that's doing the counseling. So sex, right? It starts off like this. Well,
You got the passive voice.
I just want to commend you for being such a strong man of God and saving yourself for marriage. That's something that only a strong man of God would do. And Sister Ray, I just want to say that we applaud you for being a strong woman of faith, and you are the woman that we point all of the younger women in the church to be like, because you've saved yourself for God in God's name. Amen. Amen. And so then it comes back to me and Brother Derek, I know the struggle and the stress that you had to go through in saving yourself. And I know the nights, the long nights and the thoughts of lust and women. And when I was your age, before I got married, the masturbation just took control of me. But I want you to know it's okay to masturbate. I used to masturbate 6, 7, 8 times a day. It's okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at the woman that I was, and I'm just like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. I can't do this no more. And I said, listen, I'm not a virgin. And they looked like their eyes, like how the cartoon eyes get like,
yeah, they bulge out kind of.
Yeah, what? And I said, no, I'm not a virgin, man. And guess what? Neither is this woman sitting beside me. But that doesn't make her a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person either.
Right.
There's nothing wrong. So you're telling me? I said yes.
And you said it's right on the spot, like during
right on the spot.
You
right
like kind of like cut him off. You wait for him to finish, or you just like nah.
I had to stop, bro. Like it was eating away, bro. It's eating away at my heart and my mind. Like this is a pastor of a church, and I'm lying to the pastor to appease, not even appease the woman that I'm about to marry, but this whole thing is to appease her mom.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, yo, it's got to stop. Once I did that, bro, I became enemy of the state, public enemy number 1. And the mom did everything she could to end that engagement and the marriage. She was just doing all this weird shit. She was sending her daughter like all these weird pamphlets from this other church about not needing a husband and just all this weird shit.
Yeah.
So long story short, I two weeks away from the wedding date, we sat down and I just said, I can't ask you to choose between your mom and I never would. I never do that. So I think we should just call things off. And that was probably one of the hardest conversations that I've had. And she cried. It was a lot of tears.
Yeah.
I was crying. Like I was crazy about this woman. She was, and we parted ways, and it was just like the longest breakup because our families were so intertwined. Like like I bought a house, we were living together. Yeah. It was just rough. Fell into deep depression.
Let me ask you this before you continue. Like after like having all this stuff happening, was there a moment in your life where you kind of questioned like religion or religious views, or did that have an effect on you based off like what happened that moment, or like just how did you handle that whole situation as far as like spirituality and everything like that? Did it have an effect on you?
I think the thing that hurt me most is up until that point where I came clean with the pastors, like every session, we love you and we want the best for you guys, and even if things don't work out, it's important to keep God first, and I'm always going to be here for you. I'm always going to be here for you. I'm a man of God, and this, that, and the other. After I came clean,
yeah,
never heard from them again. They wanted nothing to do with us. And I'm just like, I thought God was about forgiveness.
Yeah.
I thought God was about accepting. So that really threw me for a loop. And I questioned a lot of things. I said, this is a man of God. This is, and he's judging me.
Yeah.
If God is supposed to be a forgiving God, like even if I've confessed a sin, you're supposed to not only forgive me, but you're supposed to guide me. Like that's your job, right?
Right.
And they completely turned their backs on the kid.
Very interesting, y'all.
Yeah, so I did question religion for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then did you develop maybe a different view though? I mean, because I don't know, did it knock you off? Period. Like, man, I ain't even really mess with this religious stuff no more. Did you just end up kind of like discovering a different meaning of life? Like what are your views now? Again, after all of this.
So from that, I'm the type of person I like to. You go through a situation, and then after the situation, you reflect, make. I like to make. You know how people say you got to make sense from nonsense, right?
Yeah.
But I prefer to say I'd rather make sense from common sense, because a lot of people don't have common sense,
right?
And even if so, long story short, I started looking at the vessel, and that being the pastor versus religion as a whole. He was the point of failure, not the religion. So that kind of brought me back and got me back on track with faith and putting trust in God and kind of just accepting things as they are. Especially when like I went through the depression thing. That's actually what got me out of Virginia. Like I couldn't stay there anymore. Right. Like I was suicidal. Like I'd literally be driving somewhere and I see her, and then I felt like driving off the James River Bridge. Like,
wow.
Like this is the point when I knew I had to go. When I was coming home and I passed her in the car and she was with another dude, and the dude was actually a realtor, but I didn't know that at the time, and I was just so hurt.
Yeah.
Like I went home and I went in the bathroom. I closed the door. I grabbed my phone. I called my mom. I called my brother. I called Deron. I called my uncle. I called all the people that I felt close to, that I knew I would miss if I ended my life.
Yeah.
And I made those calls, and then I sat on the toilet seat, cocked back this gun, and put it up underneath my chin, bro. And I started to pull the trigger, and I was crouched up on the toilet. I had my elbows on my knees, like almost in a praying position with a gun underneath my chin. And bro, my right elbow slipped off of my knee. Gun went off. Boom.
What?
Yeah, bro. Shot right. Like when I tell you, I feel like I felt the fire from I felt the fire from the tip of the gun on my nose. Like it that's how close I was to ending my life, bro.
Golly.
Yeah. So I sat there, and I guess my uncle was concerned at the call, so he came to the house, and I left the door open because I just said I want somebody to find me, which was probably really selfish of me. But he came in the house probably like 15 minutes later, and like I'm laying on the floor in shock because like, yo, I almost off myself.
Like that would have been it.
That would have been it. Like we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Man, bruh. This is something I didn't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and I know we think about it. You know, at times we go through very difficult moments in life, and I know for me, like the thought of it was like, can I do that? And I never got that far. You know what I'm saying? But like with that happening the way that it happened, did you? Because you know how like when people actually, for example, you take people like 50 Cent or people who actually had like moments where they should have been dead as they tell the story, Did you like feel or hear a message like, or did you have this sense of like, yo, maybe I still have more to do in this world?
To be honest, to be honest, I felt like I needed to try again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you try again or?
Yeah, so I never got as far as pulling the trigger again. But I sat in the backyard with the gun in my lap, kind of just thinking, and this probably happened about 3 or 4 more times before I really decided to get up, get out, get as far away from this situation, the area, the people, get up and get out. And that's when I moved out to Pennsylvania.
I had to say it's a smart move. I tell people back here, that people ask me why I moved to Houston, and I was like, man, really, I couldn't afford to go up north because I felt like it was going to be more expensive. And then it was something about Houston, visiting like the city. that told me like, okay, if anything were to go down, like if I had a bad situation or had a bad friendship or relationship, I wouldn't have to worry about seeing people more than twice, because VA is so small. I mean, especially like in like Pocosin and Newport News. I mean, it don't matter if you're in the 757 area. Chances are you may see someone at least once, twice, 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? And so it was hard for me. I know personally, when I was like trying to search for meaning in life, like it was hard for me to get that in Newport News, because again, like, you know, to me, there was like a ceiling that I kept hitting, and I would see the same people, and no one really wanted to, you know, make those kind of moves. And I was like, yeah, I got to get out of here, man. Like, not to mention the bad relationship as well that I had. So, you know,
bad relationship with a woman in Virginia.
Yeah.
Wasn't Virginia good. Women get you all the time, bro.
I be trying to tell them, yo, like, shout out to the VA ladies, though. Ain't nothing against them, but I just had some bad experiences. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like,
well, let me ask you this: what happened with your situation?
With that situation, bro, it was some cheating involved. You know what I'm saying? And not just that, was with a homeboy of mine. You know what I mean? Good friend. That moment almost got really violent. You know what I'm saying? And this was something where I'm speaking to my I'm speaking to my homeboy, and I'm talking about, yo, man, like I really love this chick. You know what I'm saying? I may end up marrying her, this and that. And again, the whole point of the marriage thing is because really that was all I was taught, man. Was like, yo, when you find a good woman, you need to marry her. And so I was aiming for that. So I told my homeboy, man, he kind of laughed. And I was like, man, it was so funny, man. He said, bro, you can't be serious, man. I thought you and Shawty, you know, I thought you just playing around. I thought you just with her just to do a little something and that's it. I was like, nah, man. He said, man, look, man. Yo, your girl, man, she all over the place, man. He said, man, I even got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
that was your friend.
Huh?
That was your friend.
Like, that was my homeboy. Yeah, my homeboy told me that. And that's I thought he was my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, nah, he really wasn't. And don't, this particular guy who I was calling my friend. I mean, you know, I was young, bro, and still trying to figure out who I was, and so I was lost. I was just under the influence of whoever was around. You feel me? But like this on numerous occasions, man, I could have been like dead, or you know, it was a moment where me and my other homeboy, when we almost got robbed. You know what I'm saying? For some craziness, man. Like I would pick my homeboy up, man. He would, you know, like, yo, man, can you give my homie a ride or this and that? And I'm like, yeah, cool. You know, take him to Walmart. My man to get out the car, go do his thing. He be like, hey, yo, can you wait for me? You know what I'm saying? I just got to pick up some things real quick. Come to find out, the dude he didn't go inside the Walmart. He went somewhere in the parking lot and robbed this dude at gunpoint and then hopped back in the car. I was like, yeah, you could take me back home now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it wasn't just a chick either. It was more like I was just I had no lifelines out there, bro. Like if I was really trying to become somebody, like I had no, cause you know, they say like, you know, you're pretty much the 5 people that you surround yourself with. Fact. And yeah, I didn't even have 5 people. I probably had 3, and those 3 people were like dead men walking. So, you know, that only put me pretty much like closer to death, jail, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Fact. So once I got a taste of what life was like outside of VA, like I couldn't let that go. Like each time, like when I went to Houston for the first time, to visit, it was on a business trip. And when I had to come back, bro, like I just fell into a depression. I was like, man, I can't be in this Virginia like nonsense no more, man. It's not for me. And put in a transfer, ended up moving out here. It was a few bumps, you know, rocky situations, me trying to adjust to being on my own for real, because there was no parents or nothing like that. It was just all up to me. But eventually, bro, I mean, I'm be real. If it wasn't for me moving out of Virginia, then I wouldn't have been a photographer. You feel me? And like you said, bro, I wouldn't be here talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So, But I mean, you know, that wasn't really the worst of relationships. You know what I'm saying? I've actually been married before, so yeah, that wasn't the best decision either for me. But that's definitely a whole new different thing.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 20. I'm gonna say 28 or 29, one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 35. I'll be 35 October.
Yeah. That's a good age. I always say that nobody should get married before 30.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. Like you don't like when I think about my 30-year-old self and my 22-year-old self, even my 25-year-old self. Like my 25-year-old self is completely different than my 30-year-old self. It's completely different than my 35-year-old self. It's completely different than my 40-year-old self, and it's always going to be different. But I think until you get close to 30, you don't really know who you are. You don't know what you really like. Like the things that I liked at 25, I didn't like at 30 anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you change. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's right now I'm at a point where I'm still trying to figure out if it's something that I need right now though. And I think because, you know, being that I've been there before, you know, I really question it now because I say, yo, what's the big deal about it? Like, what's all the hype? Yeah. And I don't know if it has a lot to do with social programming, cultural programming, however you want to call it. But you know, it's so difficult because it's almost like saying, it's like me and you, we homeboys, right? Like we good people and everything. Let's just say we just like the best of friends. And then I say, hey, yo, you know what, man? Like we got a good friendship, man. Let's sign this contract. And you know what I mean? If if you do me wrong, then you know, you're gonna owe me a couple of dollars. If I do you wrong, maybe I owe you some money. But just sign the paper, man, so we can make this friendship official. And it's like
you know how ridiculous that sounds?
But that's how marriage has been feeling to me. Now we speak about love and support and everything, then I understand that in the long term. But like basically if you bring in like a whole new different component into the situation, it's like that almost gives someone some kind of leverage, or it I don't know, I feel like it does kind of mess things up because depending on who may have the upper hand in that situation, then that person basically has all this power now. You feel me? So in most cases, in America at least, when an individual gets married, a lot of times, you know, the woman may have the leverage depending on the situation. Meaning, you know, you have a baby or whatever.
Women always got the leverage.
Huh?
Women always got the leverage.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And so it's like it's a brave decision. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it's brave for someone to do it. But I try to imagine my life, like say if I would have stayed married and I had like an actual family and kids and everything, and knowing that I should have got out the situation in the first place, I'd probably be like on some, I don't know. I don't think I could settle for being homeless. I don't think that'll happen, but because I'm too determined for that. But I do seeing life being way more harder than it actually should be. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm gonna have to wait until maybe the next decade, man, and maybe because my 30s, bro, has not been on my radar at all, bro. Like, yeah, man.
I think with me, I'm just afraid of going back to that place. Yeah, I'm just afraid of being that vulnerable again and giving that 2,000% to someone. Like I always tell people, like if I commit to you, like I'm giving you a certain power over me,
right?
And that power is that connection to my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm just really afraid of really letting go of that power.
Yeah.
You know?
But I have learned something though, in reference to that too. That I think this kind of boils down to like what really, like what being a man really is now. And it's a cliche thing that we always hear: be a man, be a man. But that's one thing that I did discover. I was like, okay, what is the purpose of man? Like, what are we really designed to do on this earth? And what I've learned based off my own experiences is that, like, we always have to hold on to the one thing that truly keeps us alive, meaning that one thing that we love. You feel me? So in my case, it's photography. Your case is photography and music, you know what I'm saying? Exploring, traveling, everything like that. These things, I feel like what a lot of us do wrong is, like, we give all that up in a sense, or not give it up, but we give it lesser attention because we're trying to please a particular person in the relationship. And what happens is that's actually how the power transfers to the other person. You know what I mean? I really feel like the reason for my divorce was that. So I can't blame anybody for nothing. That's what I learned too. I don't even blame the women anymore in my life that I broke up with or may have broke up with me. I always look at myself. I'd be like, man, what did I do wrong in this situation? Like, what's going on? And I just remember countless occasions getting in a relationship, and then, I got my friends asking me, yo, man, what's up with that photography project you was working on? Man, I'm working on it, man. I'm knowing damn well I wasn't working on nothing. I was trying to keep a relationship alive. And so I say that to say that I think the one thing, even if one chooses to get married, regardless of the situation, that like we, both of us, like, we have to hold on to the things that we were doing prior to getting in the relationship, which is, I'm speaking of like our purpose in life. Because again, like I had a homeboy who killed himself not too long ago, and then I had people call me, and I interviewed a few people about suicide. My homeboy, he sent me a book that I had to go get. I'll probably get it after this interview. It's in the mail now. Where he wrote a book about his experience. It's this huge bridge out here down the street where I live at. It's called the Fred Hartman Bridge. If you look it up, this is like a tall bridge, bro. I'm talking about, you can compare it a little bit to, like the Brooklyn Bridge in a sense, Okay. It's the Brooklyn Bridge of Houston. And this man wrote a book. I didn't know anything about this. He attempted to jump that bridge because he had got out of a situation that was similar to yours. You feel me? He was with someone and it didn't go too well, and it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I believe, and again, I don't want to like tell the whole story because I don't know. I got to read the book, but he gave me like a summary of what was going on. I just feel like, and it's a learning experience. I think what happens is, like, we all just kind of lose focus on the mission that we had prior to getting in a relationship, and then abandoning that and realizing that's the one thing that keeps us in the relationship strong. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing now, if I were to get married, and like my lady, she knows about this. Like, she knows how much I love photography, and I love interviewing people. I love this podcast. And I have a mission in life. Like, it's something like I want to impact the world on some deep shit. You know what I mean? And if I drop all of that and be like, yo, I'm just gonna be a family man, then it's like I lost, man, because I already know I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Yep. So I think that's how we transfer the power to, our partner, and I don't think they want the power. That's the funny thing, to me at least. That's how I feel from my experience, and I think they take it and be like, "Oh man, you pitiful, man." That's how I feel like. That's how I feel like they communicate. Man, you're pitiful, man. Why did you do that? Why you let me manipulate you into giving me all your power? You foolish child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That passion, I feel like I almost don't respect anyone that's not passionate about something.
Yeah, facts.
Like, you have to be passionate about something in life.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, so there's women who have kids, there's single parents, all right? So you got women who I was having a conversation with someone, and they're like, "I don't have time. I'm a single parent. I got to take care of my kid. My kid comes first.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be passionate about a hobby or passionate about the things that I really want to do because I have to do for my child." And I'm like, "You're passionate about your child.
Yeah.
Or passionate, but you got to be passionate. I don't care if it's sharpening pencils.
Facts.
Just be passionate about something in life."
Yeah. If not, you already dead.
Yeah.
It's no point in talking to you now. Like, you already dead. So.
Like, I can't even have a conversation with someone that's not passionate about be able to talk to me about something that you're passionate about. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Facts, man. That's what, it's funny. My girl, the lady who I'm dating right now, she reminds me, she was like, yo, one thing that I loved about you is that, or I love about you is that, whenever I'm speaking about something that I love or passionate about, like, you stand up like super straight and lean even closer because you're like, you give off this sign of you're so interested in what I'm speaking about, like you're reading me. And she loves that. And it's all, I'm just being genuine. This is how I when people speak about things that are real, and then passionate, and then people just speak on purpose in general, that's when I really open my ears. I'm like, okay, yo, tell me more. I'm very interested in these kind of things, But if it's like, I mean, I can deal with a little bit of like complaining to a minimum, right? but if it leads, like, if it's only going down, and I'm waiting for this to go back up like a roller coaster. But if I'm not about to get on a roller coaster, that's just going down only, bro. Yo, you trying to kill me? Like, so after that, I got to cut it short, man. I got to hop off the roller coaster before it's too late, and then but but not. But okay, so yo, we just went deep just now.
Yeah, facts. Sorry, so I probably got off track. So
nah, it's all good. This is dope, man.
Yeah, I know you wanted to go back to the stereotype joint,
but mainly like how the depression, like that quote though, really, yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up in Virginia. Lost, like, again, like, completely lost my identity in this relationship.
Yeah.
I stopped doing music. Like, that's what ultimately led me to put down everything I was doing with music because the mom didn't want me to do it. And then she felt pressure from the mom. She pressured me to not do it. She's like, I don't want you to be traveling to do music. This is like full circle with what we just spoke about too.
Yeah,
so I ended up in Pennsylvania, lost, didn't know who I was anymore. I was going through an identity crisis. I forgot how good it felt to create, right? Because I was just lost and I was trying to get away from it to make this woman happy and her mother happy. Full circle again. Going back to the first question that you asked me, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm alone. I don't know anybody. Kind of similar to what you did.
Yeah.
Texas. I'm working. I got this corporate job. I'm making great money. I should be happy, but I'm not. I found myself falling into deeper depression. So I started doing things to try to keep my mind busy. I bought a house. I bought an old historic house in Pennsylvania, old row house in the historic district, needed renovating. So I started renovating the house. And once I finished that, I fell back into depression. And I'm like, yo, I got to keep my mind busy. What else can I do? Let's go to grad school. So I went to grad school, finished grad school, got a master's degree. Cool. All right, I'm done with that. I'm slipping back into depression again. I couldn't find anything else to do. I started going to antique stores, like starting to collect antiques. I ran out of antique stores to visit. I'm falling into depression. So I started seeing a therapist. And that, my friend, was the best decision I ever made in my life. And this therapist she just figured it all out for me, man. She linked everything. She linked my attachment to this woman to the bad relationship I had with my mother, and the need and the wanting to be completely loved by my mother. Like I put that in another woman because I wasn't getting it from my mother.
Right.
And that's why, like, that breakup, that separation, that just made me feel like I had nothing to live for anymore. So, but she connected the dots. She figured out that I kept having to create things to do in order to keep my mind busy. So she kind of just said, why don't you, I know you like to write. So take this journal and write. And I'm like, write about what? Write about how sad I am? And then she said, no, find things to write about that reflect the way you feel. Like pictures. Take pictures of things, and you don't even have to take a physical picture. Just take a mental picture and describe what it is that you're looking at through words. And then in the next paragraph, tell me how those things made you feel, or they make you feel. And I'm like, I ain't doing all that. And, so I tried to figure out the easiest way, and I'm like, I'm not going to write a paragraph about what I'm looking at. I'm just going to take a picture of it with my phone and write about that. And that's how it started, bro. Like, it just, me taking pictures of things with my phone. And there was always these sad things. Like, I was taking pictures of statues. I was taking pictures of, like, I walked into a cemetery one time. I was taking pictures of like tombstones, and it was just really, it was really crazy. But these are things that made me feel a certain way. And I would write about the times that I tried to commit suicide. And she was just like, this is really good. Like, you need a platform so other people can read this stuff and you can interact with these people. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I ain't gonna have people thinking I'm crazy. And then she's like, you're not crazy. You're normal. These are all things that other people feel. And maybe if you talk more with other people, and then she said, do it on social media, do it on Instagram. This way you're not face to face with someone, and you can just put it out there and just see what comes back, see how people feel. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people that things that you say and things that you write, they're going to resonate with other people that are like you, that have been through the same things, that are feeling the same things right now. The things that you went through, they're going through those things right now, and you can be a champion of that. And I was like, and again, I was like, I ain't doing all that.
He's like, nah, yo.
Yeah, I ain't doing all that. So, but the more and more I thought about it, I said, because I know you, like, I used to have another Instagram, but I said, yo, I'm gonna create a fictitious name and do it under a fictitious name, so in case, like, I felt safe doing it under a fictitious name,
right? Because
it's like, I could say, yeah, that's not me.
But, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, so that's how By William Leigh came about, and it's still me. It's my middle name, but that's how I picked up a camera, bro. And I honestly could say, I think it saved my life, man.
Wow.
That depression is real, man. Mental health it's a real thing. And I think before I started to experience it, I kind of was like, yo, you sad? What you sad for?
Yeah.
Go to the movies, man. Go get a girl, man. What you sad for? You sad, man?
You
What
would hear
what?
that you would have that voice in your head, or it was kind of
No, this is what I would tell people. Like
ah
people, like before I went through it, like before
oh
I
before.
started, yeah, before I started feeling depression,
Mm-hmm.
and you like I worked in a pharmacy, like I worked in a pharmacy during college,
Yeah.
and I'd see people coming in and getting anti-anxiety meds,
Wow.
depression meds, and I'm like, you're so sad for that you need meds, man. Why don't you go right up with yo, go on vacation, bro.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
go play some video games, man. What you so sad about? And then it happens to you, and you're like, yo, this is the realest thing I've ever felt. It's like I've never done drugs, but if I had got to a place, like if somebody would have told me, yo, you could do these drugs and it'll take it all away. Like I can't say that I probably would have tried it, man. And
Wow.
that probably would have been a whole nother destructive that would have been bad because I have OCD
Yeah.
and I have an addictive personality with everything. Like the photography thing. Yo, I gotta get this camera. Yo, I need this lens. I need another lens. I need another lens. I need another lens. Oh, this camera bag is dope. I need
You
another camera bag. I need like I'm so over the top with it. Like if I
I
had started doing drugs, bro.
mhm.
Oh man.
It's funny because I recall you like comparing that to like a past shoe addiction, sneaker addiction in a sense.
Oh my God. Anybody that knows me,
Yeah.
my sneaker collection was, bro,
Tight.
bro.
Next level, yo, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
I'm probably the reason that Duran has a sneaker addiction.
Yeah.
He loves sneakers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Deron always spoke highly of you, man, back in the days too. It was like yeah, this the whole the fashion game, man. I'm like, yo, D be killing it, man, with the kicks, man, this and that. Yeah, that was the thing back then, man. Like fashion, the way how we used to dress, man, it's crazy, bro. But yeah, man, that's very interesting, man, because I never really looked at depression as, I mean, I looked at it as something real. And once upon a time, I looked at it as something that needed to get that I needed to get rid of, right?
Hmm.
And then I don't know, something had dawned on me, bro. I was like, man, is this really is it really a bad thing to have depression? And a part of me was like, I don't think it is, but I think to have depression every day, I think that's when it's probably a problem. And normally for me, if I'm having depression like daily, then that means like I'm probably sitting in one spot too long.
Mm.
Because normally what happens, like say, let me see, I want to say, when's the last time I felt that feeling of depression? It was probably 4 days ago.
Mm.
You feel me? And what I did was, like, I get up right away. I go outside and I walk. I put my headphones in and I'll start listening to something like maybe a podcast or maybe, some kind of Spanish drills where I'll be practicing Spanish and everything. And I come back home, or I'll go to the gym. I'll go work out, and then I come back home, and I had like this great sense of clarity. And then I start creating things, and I come up with ideas. Or I'd be like, "Yo, who can I interview next?" Or, what kind of questions do I want to ask people? And then my brain it gets so busy that it almost pushed me out the door, that depression door, and I end up feeling free again. You feel
Yeah.
me? But the thing that I learned is that, okay, when it's going on, I have to keep fighting in a sense, right?
Yeah.
And I have to trust the feeling the same way how I trust that the sun is going to rise every day,
Yep.
and eventually it's going to go down and then come back and go down. And that's how I've been seeing like depression and anxiety and all these other I call them chemical imbalances in a sense. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a cycle, and I think it's the cycle that creatives go through a lot because, again, like we're constantly bending ourselves up and, you know what I'm saying, just, I don't know, we give ourselves to the world so much that, you know, these things they just tend to occur. So yeah, now I look at depression now. This is just where I'm at in life right now, where I look at my depression as like a tool. And I feel like each time I get it, it's like this question that's saying like, yo, so do you still want to do this? And it's like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Do I still want to do this? Like, hell yeah, I still want to do it. I don't want to give this up and I realize this is how much I love doing what I'm doing. Right. And the depression. And so it's like, so in response, it's like, okay, if you want to keep doing what you're doing, I suggest you get up and go do something. And then that's when I get back into, you know, beast mode, man, and start creating. But whenever I am relaxed and complacent, it is almost guaranteed that it'll come about.
Comes in. Yo, did you hear what you just said?
Nah, I was just talking, bro. But it did, yeah.
So much, yo, I love what you just said, and you just gave me something that I can use in life. You just said you use depression as a tool. Yeah,
big time.
That's deep.
It's crucial, bro. It really does. It helps me now at the end of the day because again, like I started Everyday Strangers from depression. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. So that was part 1 of our conversation. Stay tuned next week. I'll be posting part 2 of the conversation. We spoke for a total of 2 hours, so I wanted to go ahead and share at least the first hour with y'all, and then next week present the other half of the episode because it was packed with a lot of good information, a lot of inspiration, and again, it's a lot to learn. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 1, and like I said, stay tuned for next week where I'll be posting part 2 of the episode. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week. My name is Alonzo Williams, and this is the Everyday Strangers podcast. Peace and have a blessed week.